a shooting involving an Uber driver and his passengers. 11Alive Stefanich Haynock joining us live from Collier Heights Apartments on DeFore Avenue where this shooting happened. Seth, police say the driver was sent to the hospital after a dispute with the passengers.
Absolutely, Cheryl. Very scary situation. We actually saw the damage to that Tesla. We counted at least 5 to 6 bullet holes in the car. 2 of those were on the driver's side window. Here's a look back. Let's give you a closer look at that vehicle, the damage. We know that police say the shooting happened around 5 a.m. this morning. They say they found the 39-year-old Uber driver with a gunshot wound after investigators say the driver was dropping off passengers at this apartment complex when a verbal dispute broke out and gunfire erupted. A second man involved in the incident self-transported to a local hospital, also with a gunshot wound. Now, Uber releasing a statement to us saying, quote, "What this driver went through is terrifying and our thoughts are with him as he recovers. We remove the rider's access to the Uber platform and stand ready to support law enforcement with their investigation." Now, according to the latest update we know from APD, both the driver and that second man involved are both alert and conscious. We also know that police have detained 3 men for questioning. I'm Stefanich Haynock. Cheryl, back to you.
All right, Steph, thanks so much. In South Fulton, police are investigating a deadly crash involving a pedestrian. Officers say a person was hit and killed by a vehicle along Old National Highway. Detectives are now working to determine exactly what led to that crash. Authorities say more information will be released as the investigation continues. Fulton County is implementing a new plan aimed at reducing the population at the Fulton County Jail, but the decision did not come without controversy after some commissioners said they didn't have enough information before the vote. Ariana Maniz has more on what's exactly included in this proposal.
Yeah, that's right. The plan passed in a split 4-3 vote by the Fulton County Board of Commissioners. Chairman Rob Pitts introduced this 5-point proposal, all in an effort to reduce the jail population by more than 800 people. The proposal includes several measures designed to keep people accused of low-level offenses out of the Fulton County Jail. One part of the plan creates a last chance diversion hub, which would allow some people to avoid being booked into the facility. Now, other initiatives include expanding the use of ankle monitors, sending text reminders for court dates, lowering some bond amounts, and reviewing inmates being held on other conditions. The combined measures are projected to reduce the jail population by hundreds of people, with some programs alone expected to cut the population by 100 to 500 inmates. This plan comes as the jail is in a legal agreement with the Department of Justice to bring the jail into compliance with federal law. But some commissioners said they were concerned the plan was brought forward without enough data or consultation with the sheriff who runs the jail, while other commissioners in favor of this plan says they have to start somewhere to address the issue.
How in the world are we going to take any action when nobody got not one scintilla of information? The sheriff wasn't even contacted about this alleged plan.
This is a plan that will help decrease the jail population. And is that what we want? Or we want to pontificate and say, well, I didn't see this and I didn't see that. You saw the DOJ report. You saw it. You talked about it.
Yeah, you hear the passion from both sides on this issue. Now, in a statement, Sheriff Pat Labatt said he supports efforts to reduce the population at the Fulton County Jail, calling it a priority since he took office in 2021. But he also says that 3 of the 5 proposals are already in place, and also says future plans should involve more collaboration with the Sheriff's Office. Reporting live in the newsroom, I'm Ariana Maniz for 11Alive.
An ongoing conversation there, Ariana. Thank you. Right now, Atlanta police are asking for your help finding the suspects in a shootout. APD released new surveillance video on Wednesday from the Crystal Townhomes on Martin Luther King Jr. Drive. It's just off Fulton Industrial Boulevard. Officers responded to the complex about 1:15 in the morning, December 27th. They say they found a 37-year-old man shot in the arm. He was treated for his injuries. Police also released a second video showing a larger group of people walking through that complex around the same time of the shooting. There's a $5,000 reward for information. If you know anything, please call Crime Stoppers. You do not have to give your name. This midday, the city of Atlanta is planning to close down a homeless encampment near Grady Hospital that some people say has gotten out of control. It's underneath the I-85 overpass. As you can see, there are tents, discarded couches, and a lot of trash. The city put up signs saying it was closing that encampment starting Friday, but those who currently stay there say they have no other place to go.
Probably have to sleep outside of either Hurt Park or Woodrow because they don't leave us anywhere we can go. You go to the front of a store just to get out of the rain, they'll send the ambassadors to run you off. They don't care if you're drenched.
Atlanta City Council member Liliana Bakhtatari, who represents this area, sent us a statement saying in part, when a city closes an encampment, the objective must be to move people into stability, not simply from one block to another. We have new reaction to Colin Gray's guilty verdict. Mike Pugliese is the attorney for the mother of Mason Skirmerhorn, one of the two students killed at the shooting at Appalachia High School. He spoke with us about her reaction.
All she could tell me was, Mike, I feel numb. I'm numb. And, you know, I can't even imagine as a parent, as a grandparent, being in that situation. That you really can't applaud it. You can't jump up and down about it. You can be thankful for justice for young Mason and the others involved, but that numbing feeling, how do you even describe that in words? How do you even describe the feeling? And when she relayed that to me, it broke my heart.
And nothing brings her son back. And while Colin Gray waits to be sentenced, there are still a lot of legal challenges to come, including in civil court. Right now, the attorney representing one of the victims and survivors says the evidence uncovered during the trial is helping build their case. He tells us that he plans to file the suits in a few weeks and wants to make sure nothing like this happens again. The war is showing no signs of slowing down, but Iran's ability to fight back appears to be dwindling. NBC's Richard Engel has more.
The Israeli military this morning released new images of its fighter jets streaming toward Iran. As this war continues to escalate and spread, Israel and the U.S. are targeting all parts of the Iranian military, its leadership and internal security forces. This is Periscope video. Nothing like it has been seen for decades from a U.S. submarine destroying an Iranian Navy ship. The first time the U.S. has used a torpedo to sink an enemy vessel since World War II. The Iranian ship can be seen going vertical as it slips underwater. The Sri Lankan Navy recovered 87 bodies of Iranian crew members and 32 survivors from the Indian Ocean. President Trump giving his assessment of the war.
Somebody said, on a scale of 10, where would you rate it? I said about a 15.
In Lebanon, Hezbollah, a pro-Iranian militia, has joined the fight, firing rockets at Israel. Israel responding with devastating attacks on Beirut and southern Lebanon, and sending in Israeli ground forces, displacing more than 80,000 Lebanese from their homes so far, according to the government. Iran's strategy is to spread the war and make it costly. Turkey, a NATO country, says it too was attacked by Iran. NATO air defenses shooting down an Iranian missile. Less than 1 week in, and already at least 15 countries have seen strikes against their territory, from the Mediterranean to southern Europe to the Persian Gulf. And the Trump administration says the most intense phase hasn't even started yet.
We are just getting started.
And casualties are mounting. At least 6 Americans dead, and in Iran, a memorial of bloody backpacks and charred notebooks from an elementary school where the local mayor says 168 people were killed. It remains unclear who carried out the strike.
Temperatures will heat up into the upper 70s today, right around 80 degrees for the afternoon high in some spots. Depending on the cloud cover, we could exceed a lot of these numbers, so we're watching for that because today we're going to come very close to a record. The record is 81, set back in 1955. It's a long time ago. Our average this time of year is 63, so we're well above our average whether we hit that record or not. Temperatures will be on the warm side. Short sleeves for today if you can bear it. of course, and I know you can. We've been watching these showers back off to the north and west of us along a stationary boundary that has been there since yesterday, and little waves right along that, keeping those showers and thunderstorms there, not coming over toward us because of high pressure that has been dominating our skies. You notice that southerly flow that we have. So even despite the cloud covers, we're going to see those temperatures begin to warm up nicely as we head into the afternoon. It's the warm day on tap. You're looking at, well, the severe weather back off to the west. That's the first thing you notice on this map. See that tan area right there? That is a level 3 threat, or what we call an enhanced risk for severe weather. That will move eastward by tomorrow, and notice how the enhanced area expands, right? From Texas all the way up into Missouri. The level 2 threat from Chicago all the way down to Dallas will be under light green shade, just means a general threat for thunderstorms. Maybe one or two of us will see that. And then as it continues to push east, the Storm Prediction Center has placed us under a level 1 threat for Saturday. All right, that's a marginal risk where we see some isolated thunderstorms that could produce some severe weather. We'll watch out for that, but it's a low threat for us, and we'll continue to watch that also as we get into the weekend. Temperatures remain into the 80s right on through the weekend, and we'll see it next week as well.
It's been called the most important meal of the day, but breakfast is often skipped because of busy lives, just not hungry in the morning, or maybe a weight loss strategy. But is breakfast truly essential for our health? Mandy Gaither gets an expert to weigh in on whether breakfast does the body good or if it's okay to break up with it.
For their first meal of the day, do you go for eggs, French toast, cereal? How about fruit? Or is your morning breakfast bowl left empty?
It comes down to personal preference and what works best for your body.
Registered dietitian Julia Zumpano with Cleveland Clinic says there can be breakfast benefits. For some, that can include cognitive function enhancement, diabetes risk reduction, better blood sugar management, and appetite control, leading to the consumption of fewer calories. But those who skip breakfast may find they, too, have a clearer mind, more alertness, and better digestion. So she says the best thing to do is listen to your body.
Those people who chronically skip breakfast or just don't feel hungry in the morning have likely been that way their whole lives. Those who wake up hungry and ready to eat, again, physiologically, that's what their body is telling them.
No matter which group to which you belong, Zumpano says your first food of the day should be made up mostly of protein and fiber. She says meals with high fat or high sugar can lead to a pretty significant crash 30 to 90 minutes after that meal. Some healthy first meal ideas include Greek yogurt with berries, nuts, and ground flaxseed or chia seeds, cottage cheese with tomato and a slice of whole grain toast, avocado toast with an egg, or overnight oats.
Protein and fiber is key. And really, that should be the foundation of all your meals and snacks.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.